There I am. Hope everyone's doing good. I'm been gone for about a week, and I wanted to go early. I wanted to go on a little early. Ooh, let me turn it down a bit. There's only a be for the VOD people. Well, I had a nice 3 days off of work, and I spent those off days doing stuff around the house. Finally, going in and clean up that storage closet of mine because holy shit. Yeah, I'm bringing it down more. This the audio mixer is showing this thing is really loud, which I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, yeah, turn it a little bit more. There we go. That's better. Yeah, and it takes some stuff that's been sitting in a room for a while. Because basically everything that was in that room, I haven't gotten rid of anything that was in there for years. Yeah, so it was all filled with like some old stuff that I've had, right? Like it's like there's some books in there, there's some cards, there's some CDs, any like random stuff I've acquired over. Oof, I just say just because like it's like you time's a motherfucker, but definitely it's all shit I've gotten over the years. Some stuff's been in there for well over a decade, some of it even longer. Okay, that's basically everything just kind of goes there. Yeah, we are since we're live again. So, and I could have gone live yesterday, hey, but I really had no idea what to do. I was in the mood to go see a movie, but when I was looking at all the movies that were playing, like nothing really was interesting me, sadly. But the one I would like want to go see would have been at most probably would have been Inside Out 2, but like I'm not like that interested to see it, at least not on opening weekend. I don't know what that says about me. Or the whole thing where like the it's the summer movie season, even though movie season the summer season technically starts next week, like, officially, like weather wise, but like this is the time for like a lot of big movies are supposed to come out that you want to go see, but we don't really have anything that is like that good to see. I don't know, something interesting to kind of think about. Uh, I did see the new Ultraman Rising movie last night. That was really good. Yeah, I posted about it on social media. Yeah, yeah. Now that freaking now that on Twitter your likes are all private, so you can't actually look through anyone's stuff except for your own. Let me minimize that. Bow, bow. Check it out, people, really quick. I'm always wondering what all the people I know are currently up to. That's why I'm looking mainly over here too. No, we're all quiet on the west, on the east, on the eastern front over there. That's what I've been kind of up to mainly. Work. When I get home, I'm mainly chilling with people because of time issues. And then decide whether we stream. Honestly, I haven't really had anything I really wanted to stream, and I've been looking too. I've seen a couple of stuff. I'm like, oh, that'd be interesting to play, but like, why do I would I want to play it? But I was shocked by a friend doing a rebrand. I was like, which is always fun. All of a sudden, someone you know, it just like which changes their changes their name and goes live. Like, wait, who are you? I don't. Who are you? And they go, oh wait, I know you. I remember you. You. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's still going. One of the there's a person I follow on Twitter. They are like an action stunt choreographer in Japan. They work on a lot of the tokusatsu shows. They're doing a like a west like a night themed show for YouTube. So like a British production of like a tokusatsu show, which like it's nights themed, which is pretty cool. Obviously indie, so like as soon as you look at it, you can tell there's like it's not as high budgeted, but it is really interesting. So I love like when people are inspired by stuff and create their own content. There's a charm to it. I love it. This is causing a bit of a problem, I think, be doing this because my microphone's over here on my left, and I'm looking at my right. So yeah, my friend Bunny Harder is going to be doing a charity drive today. I don't want to kind of super interrupt that stuff that's going on. So I might join them in like on desktop and stuff. I'm not feeling in the VRE mood right now. I'm gonna pop the whole gear on because if I do VR streams, if it's gonna be VR chat, I have to do it in full body. A bad name. Oh, I wonder if this place gonna have that song from the audition things for Has Been Hotel. They have like these characters have these songs, so they put them down as their as like songs to sing for the audition. And I remember there's a song that was on the Lego Rock Band soundtrack that was for Sir Penches, and I don't know if that's going to be on here somewhere. It's and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, I like that song. Wait, they treated that for Sir Penches. That's interesting. It's a odd song for a Victorian era steampunk snake to have to sing this specific song. Now, so I just talked about my brother. There was clarification. Very simple. Well, it was like he's not here right now. He's away, and it's like whether we don't know. It was a bit iffy of when he would come back. It's like that was the conversation. It's like I'll just see you on this day or this day. I was like, huh? You do the groceries. So wait, do I have to go get them? What's the plan here? But that's all sorted through. Basically, if he's coming back today, he's picking them up. If he's not, they're being delivered, and he'll let us know. I think he probably will be coming back today because there's quite a couple of things that has to be done. I did take care of a lot of stuff also. I had to do all the laundry, which is like sounds weird to say, but yeah, I I don't do a lot of that because like my brother likes to do the laundry, so he'll do it at night, when everyone's asleep. He likes doing it late. I rarely ever do it. I'm all about like the cooking and dishes and stuff. Plus, I mean, getting into like a deep dive. You know, I talk about that a bit. I've been, obviously, everyone is super excited, they're waiting for season two of Has Been, and like we're waiting for the new episodes of Hell of a Boss to come out. So honestly, I'm looking at a lot of fan content. That's why the lights going private is like a little bit of a good thing, because like people will see you like I don't know how many of you have ever watched like any YouTube video where like they go after somebody, they use their likes as part of like evidence. I always thought that was really strange, because you can just like one thing from somebody and they're like, oh my god, this person supports this person, and I've always been like, that's not always what that would mean. I it's not my favorite thing for that people to do.
Salutations! Good to be back on the air.
But not gonna a lot of stuff people do. I because I always hit fear, honestly, when people look at my stuff, they'll kind of they'll draw a weird opinion about me. Because like I'm very simple. I go, I like good art, and I'll like it. Like, oh, that's a cool picture. I'll hit like on it because I like it. That's and there's nothing else to it. And there are some people who would look at that people doing that and go like, this is what they support. And I'm like, that's really strange. Obviously, if it's illegal shit, I'm like, no, no, thank you, not into it. Illegal, any of that shit, no. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what really to do. I know there's some stuff I have to think about for the future. I got my fucking the batteries I bought for my Xbox Series controllers that I have. That the one for I use for PC, the one that's actually to my console. Those batteries are starting. If there's a way to check the charge, I would love to, but they're a pain in the ass to charge. They have to do them on a dock, and the dock itself is having trouble charging them. It's not registering when the contacts are touching, because it's like you push them on a stand. There's these little prongs that it has to touch on the back of this battery. You have to put on a custom cover so it touches it, and those things can get corroded a little bit or very dirty, and you have to like either scrape them off a bit, just try to clean it up, just so when they touch it starts charging, and then the base will have a color for it. I've definitely noticed one of them, the Xbox console one, dies a lot faster than the other. I think I use that one a little bit more. If I'm on my PC, I do try to do certain games. I do keyboard. I do my controller with usually emulation, right? You don't want to play certain console games on a keyboard and mouse because yeah, like design it on the control on the keyboard. But yeah, but they're looking to get in like new no, those new charging batteries. I think that the stuff has changed. There's a lot more easier. That's just how I am. But yeah, for the whole like fan content stuff, real quick. There's been a channel I've been watching. I mentioned them a lot. I was waiting for them to upload a new episode. The last time I mentioned them, which was on a Thursday, which they do uploads 5 days a week. And they have no episodes, no video on Monday or Thursday. And so happens the day I mentioned, I'm like, oh, it's Thursday. They don't have an episode up. And it's usually in the afternoon. But they're all part of like the group itself has like a bunch of other channels, so they have content always uploading on them. I don't know the 100% the time that all the videos go live on there. It feels like it's sometimes noon and sometimes 1. I know the one yesterday was at 3 o'clock, like which was timed with all the other stuff they do, all the other channels. Because it's like they have like story-ish videos, like this character comes. It's very like I hate to describe it this way, but it's very content farm-y, right? we have like oh this character visits, or we have this plot line, and they do it actually very well. It's just kind of like the the title and the thumbnail that gets you to click is very like almost the content farm there. And it's funny because a lot of the people who work on it, they do also have like they have their own individual channels. Some have stopped because they're focusing more on this because like it's a lot of work. I would say that if you have that many channels and you're trying to do all that stuff, I know some stuff gets cut down a bit. Yeah. Last time I went live early in the morning, I talked about how I have like the daily stuff I would do, right? Well, I've been playing Dragon Ball Legends on my mobile on my iPad for a while because they're on their 6th anniversary. I've actually been playing that way more than I have. I gotta say, since I want to say when it first came out, it might be a little bit a time like a couple years later, like one of those anniversaries. But I've been playing it like way too much. I was like, all right, I'm gonna finally try to catch up with the story, and it is I am behind. I just got to chapter 10, and I don't know how many chapters there are, but I just got there. I've accrued so much random shit just by randomly logging in. I'm like, every time I get something, they're just like, "Oh yeah, you already are maxed out on this. This has to go to your storage area." I'm like, "Shit." I have over 1,000 of this random item, and I've never used it. It's a fucking thing for upgrading your equipment. It's like I just have a stockpile of it, and I just don't use it. And I'm like, "Oh shit, I need to get rid of this stuff." You know, it'll be perfect. Actually, that song popping up will be perfect because it's the 20th anniversary of that movie. I think the actual date's coming up, or it already came. Shrek 2. I remember like watching like the behind the scenes for that for Shrek 2, the Shrek 2 before it came out in theaters. It was just like oh we have the perfect person for the theme song for the movie, and then like I love the story. Just like they go to like Counting Crows lead singer is like, yeah, I'm like, why have you heard our music? This isn't our type of stuff. But it's like, oh well, I actually kind of was in love, so I wrote this song about it. And that's how Accidentally in Love was made. I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, I'm expecting a new video from that channel later today. I'm so happy. I've been learning a bit more about like the other channels because I actually found out there's a crossovers. At least with one channel. I haven't checked the other ones. At least I know one of those channels crossed over with them. And it's interesting to listen like to certain people before they were cast. So like one episode the first time they had the Has Been crew in there was before they made the channel, before they set on the voices. And a different person was Angel instead of the one they have, which is Naya VT, who is also a streamer on Twitch. They just celebrated their partner anniversary, and I was in their chat yesterday. They have just the same chaotic energy, so definitely give that channel a follow if you could if you are interested. I was actually they also have a secondary channel because they're part of a group that does World of Warships. So they have like VTubers that are based on ships. Yep, so and they are their name is Magi, Magii, and the reincarnation of the USS Midway, and they just play World of Warships, which is really fun. because you gotta have like a certain chaotic energy to keep that stuff interesting. Just going around a bomber plane and just like a bomber plane, a freaking ship called the Goku. You gotta play this, you gotta play the sound effects with it. Which I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait for Spectrum Zero. If you buy the Ultimate Edition, it comes out a few days early. That could be a nice little pre-birthday stream to do in October. I can't wait. Some people were going ham on the video. There was a showcase. They did like a 10-minute showcase just showing off like a bit of the game, what the game features. Because we've been seeing the characters and like a little bit, we saw a little bit of the gameplay, obviously at the Summer Game Fest. I love the idea of just punching someone through a bunch of canyons. It's my favorite fucking thing. It's peak Dragon Ball, and just like having that stage destruction is mwah, love it. And they have they're showing the character stream, and I want it to hopefully think that that's still a work in progress because it is very basic. It is like a simple grid with all the characters, but I'm trying to remember. I think they will sometimes change the character stuff, the character screen stuff for demos if there's not a lot available. So that I'm hoping. Some people were disappointed they wanted to keep the hexagons. I'm right with you. I'm hoping they change it up too. I know if anyone was like watching this as a stream on a VOD, I just always think about that. Apparently, that's actually a thing about my horoscope because of my birth year, the birth sign. You know, I would just worry about stuff. Like, oh, you always do this because of that. Like, huh, that makes a lot of sense. It was a very interesting week, also, like just that in between, like when I wasn't streaming, it was just like coming home after work, and people would do stuff. One of the servers I'm in, it's another has been fan artist, HC4 Art. I managed to reconnect with an old VRC buddy. I haven't seen them since 2021. The name was Solov. I believe it was Solab underscore TTV was what they had in VR chat, and that was also their Twitch channel. No, so that was someone I had met like a long time ago. I hadn't seen them in a while, and they hadn't really been streaming at all for a bit. So we were all kind of like, I wonder what happened to them. So thankfully, we reconnected and we talked, and we both are basically in a similar kind of boat. We've been working a lot. I'm happy to hear about he because like his VC was where I would hang out in for a while. We would just be, all of the daily stuff I would do. I would just hang out in a VC and we would chat, have some fun before I go off to work. For I believe at that time it was around then. That would have been pre. Was that been pre morning? Thinking real quick. I'm trying to remember exactly when. I think that was during the 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 time changes when I was going from working the I think so, right? Because I do the time transfer where I went from the closing to the morning. I think that was around then. I know it's not very interesting to listen to me talk about. Try to remember things from that long ago. But yeah, it was so fun. We were there. It's so intimidating when you're in a server with like a really good fucking artist that you love the work of, and you haven't drawn anything in so many years, and you have to do it as in a speedway, a speed run draw, and you're like, oh no. I don't think there's an archive of my yeah, yeah, 2021. That would have been, yeah, definitely late 2021 as the time. I'm looking at some of my the of my messages. I'm gonna do that. I just write up a custom status right now on Discord. Right here. This. There we go. I usually do it like that. No one ever joins my Discord, you always will see my status. I keep it all very nice. I gotta still write that. I've been outlining the storyline for my VTuber model, right? Because we all, OCs all have to have a storyline. And boy, I have way too much stuff for just a chapter one. I'm I don't know if I want to cut some of it down, but it's quite it's quite a lot. It's all it's like me and Alistair's art who did the comic who update for that. Just in case anyone hasn't seen that post, they got back to me recently because they've been working on their commissions and they're about to get to me. And basically they told me about they've done some light storyboarding of my angsty idea, yeah, which I knew was going to be a problem because of how I described it. It's like it's really hard to do that specifically. Got a little bit of a financing thing. I mean, I'm always very public about that. I'm paying. I'm currently paying for. I had to get a new car, so I got that monthly payment on me. I do have some stuff that I'm currently paying, so that money says my free money has gone a bit down. So I'll try to see what I could possibly do. There's definitely some stuff I'm looking at and being like, maybe. looking at quite a few things. I'm kind of like, it's you have to do that a lot in life. You look at like some numbers, some monthly bills, and be like, okay, maybe we can remove some of this. We aren't using this right now, so we can save some money. Because there definitely is some stuff in here that I'm like I barely have used anymore, and then I have like the some bills have gone up. I know, but I hope it's a one-time charge. I know the family phone bill for next month because I have to pay it on the second, and that has gone up. That went up. My brother had to use the insurance to get a new phone because his got really fucked up. So I'm not sure what that charge is. I see that where the bill went up by $100. I need to figure out what the fuck happened there because like we had a phone mess up. They have an insurance plan where you get another one, and he got another one, but now the bill went up by like 100 by a fucking quite a bit. I'm like, is this a one-time charge here? Here, what's going on here? What happened here? That shouldn't have happened. Gotta do some fighting on the bill here. Like, what's going on here? Is this a one-time charge? Is this just like, is there an understanding? Is my brother gonna have to just he has to pay that extra charge? That's all. Just hopefully everything kind of works itself out. I do have some bills here because one of the things I did it was back in 2022, 2022 or 2023. It was probably a combination. I went ahead and I looked up how much money some of the bills I pay were costing me in total, and I looked at whatever was a more feasible option. And so some of this stuff is kind of that like that. Some of the stuff is literally I just went for a year because like it would be cheaper in the long run for like an entire year because I was surprised how much like one membership was if I just switched to a year. I was like, wait, I'm paying that much extra. Fuck, if I switch that quick, holy shit. And I made so basically every month there was one big bill that had to get paid. You know, so that's mostly what I have. It's a lot of bills that are just like they're big, but they're like for a year. So I pay it once and I don't have to worry about it for another year. I always have all my bills and shit written down. So whenever I get paid, first thing I do is I do the bill first. Where's our free money to do what we want to do? Take care of that. I know I'm a bit rambly. We've been streaming for 37 minutes. Now all I've done is talk. And we should also be watching stuff too. But I'm currently doing like there's some stuff here that I don't want on screen. So with the commission, it would have had in order for it to have worked, it would be at least 2 pages, and the max for that was $190. I think that's 190 US. Because I know Alistair's art is not from the US; they're from Brazil, from Spain, Brazil. Ooh, I feel bad. Gotta remember where they're from. I know Mimi Cat, who does this, who made my avatar. They're from Argentina, and I haven't seen them on in a bit. It's because of stuff happened. Oh yeah, the birthday's coming up. I gotta make sure there's some happy birthday. Say in the future. Yeah, I don't know how I missed this post. I might have seen it, but I forgot to comment on it. So I'm gonna quickly do that too. Because Mimicat, for those who do not know, they were having a lot of issues personally with the health of their cat. That's kind of what was around the time I discovered them. So I had missed this post. It was because I talk about this a much, and I follow so many accounts, and sometimes stuff gets missed. I know this was posted well for so I want to write a very nice like thing here. I found this the post because I didn't see this that their cat was had they laid to the rest at the end of April. I completely missed it. You know, it was around that time was when I was getting given the final stuff for my model. Yeah, my next the next line for this. My noise canceling is working very well. Me typing and you're not hearing the air conditioner going off in the corner over here. Though I think it is coming through when I'm speaking. I have the microphone pointed towards me. The air conditioner is technically behind it. It's on a slight angle. Notes. My empty water bottle, which means I have to get more water. All right, for a couple of years I've had this a work big ass water bottle that you would fill up like a little thermos type of thing. I have yet to use it. It's just been sitting in my little my kitchen cabinet. It's like I open it up, there's my coffee mugs. You look up, and it's just right there. I just grab everything else but it. And there's so many. There's especially now with the summer coming up. There's some days I'm like that would be perfect to have a nice bottle of water, this nice big thing of water there to drink when it gets real hot. Because my fucking higher ups, it's a bit of a story. This happened last year, and we're going into the summertime, and this is gonna bug the fuck out of me. Yeah, but they decided that I'm now technically a different department, so now I have to abide by those dress code, which means that even when it's fucking hot as shit, and what I do for my job, I have to now I can't wear shorts. I spend a good chunk of my time outside. Some days I do. I'm mainly inside. Some days I'm not. I'm like I'm outside, depending how how busy the place can get. And the dude comes up and is like, "Oh, you're out of uniform." One day. Now this person does not work. Is not stationed at our workplace. They're somewhere else. I rarely see them. So unless I get a heads up of if they're going to be there or not, I might be able to just say fuck it and just wear shorts. We'll see from there. But like, I know they've been there recently. People keep telling me they have, and they only show up at the end of the week, which I don't work. I see. I just need to know what days. Because if I'm inside with the air conditioner, it's not too bad. But it can get hot. I know full well about how hot it can get around here. Here, I always am checking the weather before I go, and it informs my dress for work. I made like a nice snazzy coat. There's a reason why my coat's green. I actually put that into the lore. There's actually a reason for it. It was just gonna be really fun to tell. But yeah, this week coming, going into next week, it's gonna be quite the temperature. We're high 80s, early night, like we're up to 90. Okay, I want to say 1990 because my brain is always it's my birth year. It's when I came into this world. My brain always thinks of the 90s. That's where I grew up as a kid. But it's literally on Tuesday. It's gonna be 90. It's gonna be fucking brutal. And like it's that keeps up until that keeps up till Saturday where it drops. It's going to be brutal this week. And I'm not joking either. It's nice today. I go back to work tomorrow because my work week starts on a Sunday. That's why when I'm with Money Hearted, it's always a uh, I'm always there trying to be with them during their streams on Saturday because on Sundays I work, and the community stuff all happens on the time I'm at work. So work week starts on a Sunday. I work the full day because your standard working hours is usually 8 hours, and that's literally how long the place is open for. So I'm only there from when they open to when they close. The rest of the week they're open. They open earlier. They close later. And I'm not there the full time. Get back to my bed. Well, since I've been off this whole time, I've been like delayed. There's like stuff I'll play like on my dailies, like, and then some stuff I've just like laser focusing on stuff, and like all that stuff is just going by the wayside. I'm like, oh no, I might lose my daily here. I might lose that reward. Oh no, which has happened. Yeah. Dokkan Battle is the one I think of the most. That one was like you had to log in. They had an over reward. I always remember, you had to do it consecutively for 2,000 fucking days until they changed it to just like in total. That's why I'm not a big. That game is not one of my favorites. I have a lot of stuff in it as well because I started playing those together. I played Dokkan for a bit. Then when Legend came out, I prefer Legend over it. It's like an actual game. Where Dokkan is more of a puzzle where you just try to make sure that you had the most number of circles to go through. Where Legend's like, okay, I have to actually play it. I gotta make sure I step out the way from attacks. I gotta do some combos. Gotta gain ki by charging it. Of course, now we have actual emulators on iOS now. That's been an interesting thing. I'm so happy. I think it's probably because people are making like a lot of videos like, oh, here's how you get this stuff on here, that some of the classic sites that have been around for years are getting hit with certain with takedowns and shit because certain people can't know that you're not supposed to talk about that stuff. You're not supposed to tell. You're not supposed to say where you're getting your content from. That's literally a big thing. That's why in every single emulator you download on all of their FAQs, whenever they have it right there, where do you get ROMs? We can't legally tell you. You like that's literally a thing. You're not supposed to tell people about where you get your stuff. It's illegal. Emulator is not illegal. It's in a very legal gray area. But just going and downloading a game off the internet and stuff, also a very gray area. But you're just not supposed to tell people where to go. Well, you gotta kind of figure it out. User to user is different. And to talk about older games, funny enough, my friend Kayla was doing a grab bag special yesterday. They had 4 games. They had found a local retro-ish game store that was very close by to their home. Like it was like a very long drive, which when you find places like that, that's amazing. I adore that so much. There was a Before I started working at my current job, right around that area there was an actual like old game store. That's actually where I got my second Dreamcast from. I bought that baby for only $30, and it came with 2 controllers. And knowing what I know about the Dreamcast and why it kind of failed a little bit, it having that knowledge all together, oh, that was the best $30 I ever spent. Because it also came with all the VMU. I think it only came with one VMU, and I had to buy one on eBay. if I remember correctly, I had two controllers, but I think I only had one. No, 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 I had two. It came with two. I did buy a VMU later. I found out there was a one of the multi-page ones because I was because it's memory cards. They have like a limit of their space, and I did not want to lose any progress in some of these games. So I bought a four-page VMU, which you lose the screen, which is kind of sad because some of the games on the Dreamcast would use that screen very nicely. They like if you played Tony Hawk, you had like your score was always on the bottom, and it would say stuff if like you wiped out. I know there was a Card Captor Sakura game on there, and I put like an image file on there if you wanted it, and it was of Tomoyo, who because the whole game you play as her and you're recording Sakura fighting the monsters and putting them back to the clock cards. So her face was like on the VMU. It's like a thing you install. It's one of the interesting things from them. I God, what one was it? There was a Dreamcast game I know of that technically has a virus on it. I found it out in one of the I think it was a Guru Larry video game where they talk about games that came with viruses. It was the only Dreamcast game that had it, which would have meant someone who worked on it when they were doing the master files put that on there. And the thing is, the virus only affects PCs, and obviously wouldn't affect the game on the console because the console doesn't have what the those PCs have. So you end up with this game where if you plug it into your PC, you'll get this virus. Now, how old that virus is, every antivirus will instantly pick it up. They're like, oh hey, virus. Yes, and you'll be fine. And I think they did a. I don't know if they ever did a recall for it. I don't know if that ever came out and be like, hey, we gotta recall these units. They have a virus on here. Yeah, very old Guru Larry video that just reminded me of me saying that. My brain goes all over the place. Welcome to a random conversation with me in IRL. I'm very awkward. Great, and I just talk random shit. There's not normally a microphone, so that's why. Yeah, gotta be looking over here at the chat window. No, my microphone's over here. I didn't think to just take this and move it over there. I Yeah, definitely. Yeah, get a chance to. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix exclusive. Ultraman Rising. Definitely check it out. Really fun. Very visually amazing. Like they had a really nice art style. I love the action. The story it can be a bit cliche. You can kind of tell where it's going when it's not super unique, but it is a visual. It's funny. It's heartfelt. The some of the monster designs are like amazing, are like super good because they are classic monsters just rebrought. We have one new monster, and they have the trend, which I love, of having like a design aesthetic that just kind of goes off. So you have all these monsters are kind of like Showa s Heisei esque, like what you are used to from all the other Ultraman shows, and then the final enemy shows up and it looks like it's from a completely different series, and I'm all for it. That's been a recent trend, and I love that. I love that sharp design change in a show where like you're used to everything looking a certain way, and then it just boom, something completely different shows up. It's beautiful. All right, all that is done. Get you off the screen. Yeah, thankfully, how Alistair art works is commission prices for exchanging of the money is when she starts working on your work. So I know I'm coming up. That's actually why they brought me the update. But yeah, it was quite. It was looking at we were looking at 2 pages, all with 6 panels each, which would have been $190 each, which would have been almost 400 for this angsty comic idea. I'm putting that baby on the back burner. There, I could when I'm in a better position financially. This almost dropped. Ooh, that would have been scary. I've I've had too much stuff drop off this desk randomly. Oh, cool. An update for Metal Gear Solid Delta. They have a whole thing where they have a classic visual style you can go with, and they change controls. Now I'm surprised they didn't put it with the Xbox Game Showcase, where they were showing off more of the game. They didn't actually show any gameplay, and they had a whole Legacy of Metal Gear Solid video that came out like a couple days later, and it actually showed more gameplay, and it actually showed that they have a different style. They have Legacy where you can play it just like it was, not in the original three, but Subsistence. Because Subsistence they added like an actual like 3D camera, right? You can kind of move it around. That was like a little bit above your head. And and then at some point it's like a fixed angle. So they have like the classic camera style, but then they also added a new one which is very much it's Phantom Pain. So you can actually play through the whole thing as like you actually put like a classic visual on if you want to have like a little bit of that look from like when the game came out. I was hoping for a date, but they're still kind of like you can pre-order it and we have collector's editions. We just don't know a date of when it's coming out. I do love like in that video they did have an interview with a producer and they're just like, so is anyone who worked on the old games here? Hey, August. I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? Welcome to my very weird rambly stream where without any music playing. I hope you're doing good. It's nice. I'm doing pretty good. I don't have any ideas concrete of what I'm going to be doing right now. I did wanna stream a bit early because a friend of mine's gonna be doing a charity stream drive. So I don't want to kind of I don't want to kind of tag along in like a weird way for that. I don't know how to really say it. Yeah, but like I want it's because of how like what it's about. I don't want it to be like hanging out in like a very and like we're trying to have like fun. Or I feel like I'm like interrupting or intruding on something. It's a hard thing for me to, like, to describe it because I might pop in and into VR chat and like hang out a bit in desktop. I just don't I didn't want to put on the whole like VR gear and co-stream at the same time. But other than that, I'm all good. I've had 3 days off of work. This is day three. I've been moving stuff around. I'm kind of glad all I'm kind of glad all that stuff is done for the most part. I know like if I had way more boxes, honestly, I might have boxed everything up in that storage closet and moved it to the basement. Oh, we're in an ad break. Shoot. But yeah, I'm so happy that stuff I cleared out some of that stuff because that's been in some of that items I moved have been there for a while and they've just been sitting there. And a lot of that stuff is just sitting there. Like normally you put something maybe in a box, for like nice storage. You could pull it out, whatever. A lot of the stuff I just have sitting there, like in their box, whatever they came with. If I bought like a collector figure or whatever, that box was just sitting there in that room. I didn't actually store it, which is kind of the problem. Yeah, all this shit is really fucking weird to read. Ooh, nice. I know it's only my following. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, those days. And all the we have so much stuff. You uh yeah, I remember the first days like when I would move into a place. I remember when I first moved, we moved from different apartments before I had it's like before I just finished the sixth grade and I was like finished there at school and we would go home, it would be at a new apartment. So it was like the day before I left home for my last day of school, well, from one place, and then when I was done, I came home to this new place. It was just an odd feeling, and we had all these boxes all over the place, and everything was all stacked up. I think we had all the main furniture was there, but not, but everything was just all in boxes, and it was just a lot. I'm glad we kind of did it in this when I didn't have school, but we had so much shit in those boxes to empty out. Uh and I always remember it mainly not just because of that, but it was also my brother got a package, and it was the VHS tape of Godzilla versus Megaguirus from Japan. It was subbed in English, and that was actually when we watched it for the first time. So I just watching this new Godzilla movie. So that was fun. We had set up the we had the computer on the computer desk at the time set up, but we did not have cable or internet yet. So that's why we were kind of going through VHS stuff. They were going to come out the next day to set it up. God, just pulling up a past memory there. Oh, that's not bad. 70 bucks for that. Sweet. Yep. That's everyone happy Pride Month. Said it before. Really should actually also. Ooh, that would have been an idea. There was an artist I commissioned recently to do a picture. Sure. And I would have been, oh, I would have been something. I was thinking of potentially doing that. I was going to have this design, my model design, but it was going to be colored a certain flag for my sexuality. But I have a different thing instead. Yeah, it was like almost a week ago I did that. Yeah, I'm looking back at the message. I believe I just asked for them to do art of my character. I don't think I did anything specific. Oh, sorry. I put the LGBTQIA plus tag on my stream. I didn't actually put what I am on there. I'm bi, by the way. Anytime I have to do an introduction in a server, like they have you write that out, I always that's what I put down. Make sure they ask. That's what it is. They do say like you once you get into VR chat, you do quite discover stuff about yourself. Nice. Oh, that's what. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that was an update. I know that that was could be added in. Oh, cool. I just read a thing that was going to be updated. Cause so anyone who might remember, I used to stream a lot of the Starship Troopers Extermination game that's in early access. They're still working on it. We have an official 1.0 date, which is in October, and that's when the game will be coming to Xbox and PlayStation. And Casper Van Dien as Johnny Rico is coming back in that too. But they're adding a new system in, and it's something that I'm like, oh, that's a possibly kill some PCs if it's not optimized well. They're gonna have a carnage system where the bug bodies will actually pile up on each other. I was like, and so I'm like, oh, I didn't read that part. That's fucking cool. So that's gonna be so I can't wait. That's probably in the next update that's coming. I'm in that Discord. I'm in way too many Discords honestly. There's so much shit I'm in. I'm trying to keep up with whatever hell's going on. Some of the stuff I'm a mod in, and because it might be a friend's thing. I'll just run out and I'll just like at the individually click up each one just to see if any updates have happened. Because I say this, if I had every Discord server I'm in not on an at mention, oh, this thing will be going off nonstop. Like that's how many discords I've been. It would be a symphony of the but noise of that discord but noise every time, every second, multiple. Ah, I dread that. There was an Oda joke about if from Vine. There was that one person had like I think it was a Twitter joke. And it was just like just getting the notifications of on Twitter on your account, and just like the person sitting there and their phone battery just draining, and with all the pings. And I'm like, that's what I feel like it would have been. There was a time I did have. I was going to bed, and just all of a sudden I heard a shit ton of pings off of my phone because Discord was just changing over from oh you're not on here, you're over here. So just give you every single ping you missed, and it ended up with me just like what the fuck was that? But I'm getting cozy in my bed, get the blanket on me, eyes closed, and just hear somewhere. I'm like what the fuck? Quite a bit. Ooh, Alice, just chip training. I like that. This stuff gets really hard, confusing. Of what gets something trending on fucking Twitter? Is it literally just the word? Yeah. So the only notifications I have for Discord is just like an at everyone type of thing. Because some of the Discords I'm in, it's like some are for video games, so it's like announcements, like if something new has been developed. Any no anything that happens in my Discord server, I have that on everything. That's the only server I have that active for. Anyone posts anything in my own Discord server, I'll get a ping for that. Everywhere else is an every is a mention. So I have to follow a certain thing. Either they have to add everyone. If I'm a mod person for the server, I get those pings. That's really the only stuff I have for that. I do have it for games when they want to notify me about like, oh hey, this is available. Hey, your energy's filled, like those ones. They do and also like DMs on Twitter on Discord, like all that Discord, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram. I just realized the head tracking kind of fucked up there when I was doing that. Of course it would. But I get all those pings like that. Every time something my voice, I hear my voice is just getting a little fucky right now. I didn't get some water. I need the water. I have an empty bottle here because when I started streaming, it was about how much of that would be about 30% filled. Yeah, Discord gives me a shit ton of pings. That's the one thing I dislike about notifications on Discord is that it treats every server differently. So you can have a shit ton of notifications on your phone if you let them build up for the individual servers, and they can be separate. Some can be more important than others. So some are individual swipes, and others can be grouped, and it's a little bit annoying when you have a lot of them. All right, just give me one tiny moment to grab me another bottle of water. I know. Why did my model just do that? That was really weird. Just give me 1 second. All right, I've returned. I would have gone to a BRB, but I thought it was gonna be real quick, and it ended up not being real quick. Ah, I see. Yeah, anyone who types, if you have Alistair in your name and you post something, or you post something with Alistair in the post, that's how it got trending. Gotcha. I understand. I understand. Oh, say this something that's been happening with desktop Twitter, which I fucking am annoyed with, is it will get rid of your searches. Like you go and search in the bar there for certain things. Is that bugs the hell out of me because then I have to go like research because I have like tags up there. So I have like these regular things I'll search for to see if anything new has been posted. It related to like because if you do hashtag a thing, that'll pull up anyone who's ever hashtagged it. I've but sometimes if you just search without it, you can actually get more results. So it's easy to be like, oh, hashtag this, and then it'll like group it up. But some people are just don't do that. They just write the word, and it actually will. Um, it wouldn't be searchable that way. I feel that's all I've seen happen. But yeah, every time it just goes away, and I have to research, have to redo that process all over again. Because when I'm working on my storyline for the my VTuber model, I'm trying to get as much research I can into a topic because there's a little bit of like it's supposed to be like an interesting mimic of history that's happened, but I did get like some very specific details. So I'm trying to do some research about it and searching up all I can, just trying to get everything. Like, ugh. I know that one. I believe I know what that game is. Just someone I know is playing Plastic Duck Simulator. I'm like, I think I know what that game is. I think I've seen it before. That's interesting. All these. Okay, that physics there is very caught me off guard. I'm sorry. Just someone was touching their model on their stomach, and it was moving around, and it just like, huh? It's like a mental fucking crisis. What the hell? Just learning how to open like a bag of bears in a different way apparently. This lady is fucking floored. Goodbye. Hang on. I haven't screen shared anything, but I think you need to kind of see what the hell I'm looking at here. Yeah. Oof. For those who do not know, the monitor I mainly use is has HDR enabled, so this is bright as fuck. One tiny moment to fix that. I do have it. I put the filters on for HDR tone mapping, but I have noticed that a lot of times you don't get that. It still looks like very bright. So let's make it normal. One monitor looks really good with HDR enabled. The other one, not so much. The one that not so much is the one I use for chat over here. Yeah, this lady was like floored. I forget I don't do desktop capture anymore. It helps with making sure certain audio doesn't get saved in the VOD. You just make it capture specifically what you want.
Oh my god. No way. No way. I can't believe it. What did I do my whole life? You know.
Like she's so fucking floored. She just had an existential crisis learning how to open those gummy bears like that. To be fair, I mean, no one teaches you how to open those bags. You got to figure it out yourself. So I'm not that crazy. It's not that awkward, odd to see. Now, I do want to know about. I have like certain topics that seem to be always pinned, and I'm kind of confused as to why. I think it's that they pick out stuff that I'm like always interacting with, but they haven't changed in like months, and I'm confused. VR chat is number one. That's fine. I do follow a lot of VR chat people. But number two is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I've only really talked about them when the Mutant Mayhem movie came out and I saw it. I don't really talk about that. Hmm. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. I'm over here. That's right. Shoot. I gotta speed my ass up. That's kind of nice. Super Seven's doing 2003 Ninja Turtles Ultimates figures. Those are their figures are really nice. I mean, they were doing like retro, the like 80s Ninja Turtle toys, and they had to stop doing them. They were based on like the cartoon. They actually looked like they did, and then like they were told to stop because I think Playmates wanted to do their own, which is all which I don't know. I mean, Playmates is usually like a cheaper toy manufactured for a reason, and they're the ones who have the MonsterVerse toy license. So I remember going into a Walmart one of the last times I've ever been there, which was years ago. They had just gotten the license for Godzilla toys, so they were going to make like their own versions. So that it was the MonsterVerse mainly. So it was like I think Kong Skull Island. I think no, wait, that was a different company. They had the license after that movie, and they were redoing those toys in their own style. And it was like we have this, but we're also going to make like those little vinyl figures, like the Monster series has like these little vinyl figures. I have a few of those. I bought at my old work job. They're like how are they 7-10 bucks for them. They're just like little vinyl figures of the individual monsters. Just you do whatever. You know, the arms move, the head moves. Nice little cheapy figure of like a monster because like they don't, and it always comes in a wave. And when I saw them for the first time in person, I was floored because the colors were fucked up. I was like, oh my god, what the hell happened? And it turns out that's a constant thing with them. They had a Shin Godzilla figure, and it looked nothing like that design. So that's one of those. Ah, my nose is stuffy. What the heck is going on? I'm having that negative effect right now. I have a yeah, a little bit of an IRL thing, but I do have a slightly crooked nose, and it does affect a bit of my breathing. So my nose, my the areas in which I breathe out of switch. Yeah. So just let you know that it's just like it's slightly to the right of my face. So my when I breathe, it actually will switch out of which nostril. It'll be one side, it'll be both, and then it'll be the other side. And it's like when you're breathing, you kind of tell. And it's over time. Like throughout a day, it will switch around like that. I never actually like did a full time thing. I just know it when I just realize it when it happens. What happens sometimes is that when you get punched in the face. Someone will go right for your nose. Oh, that's what I dealt with in middle school. So that's just letting you know about that. I will also make sure to say also, I didn't go through that for my entire school. I did stop it. So I'll throw that out there. I did make that stop. And I went through the majority of my high school 4 years with nothing, with no issues. Let me update my thing here. Let me see if anything news popped up. I've been checking my socials just to see if anything cool has been posted and liking or replying. I did put in the description we're gonna be watching stuff, but I have nothing on you to watch. Oh yeah, this thing. I can't believe that in my lifetime I have multiple fucking trailers for the same thing. Multiple different properties. They're all based on the fucking Watchmen. I don't know how we live in this world.
Someone's picking off costumed heroes.
Because when I was, because like before I left high school, Watchmen the movie was that Snyder was making was like going to come out in like less than a year. So there was some hype going for that. And I remember my brother bought a button, like the comedian's button, and I remember going to see the movie with that on, and I kept it with me. I still have it. I haven't worn it since. So ever since 2009, I've had this comedian smiley face with the little blood stain on it button that was it wasn't officially made. It was like a fan thing, and I just had it. And I remember going to work because it was like really early on, and I just had that, and people only a few people knew what it was. So I thought that so yeah, like we now are getting an actual animated Watchmen movie that's supposed to be as really closely faithful to the book. And the animation style is like very much a Marvel What If style. Like it's very similar to that.
There is good and there is evil, and evil must be punished. I do not do this thing because it is permitted. I do it because I have to.
I do want to find the cast list. I want to know who's playing everybody. Which is it's just like a two-part movie. So I am interested to figure out who the cast is for it. You know, we're currently in like a multi-part movie thing right now with the fucking Crisis on Infinite Earths. I know it's like it's such a big story, so like I understand, but man, it's like I just want them to do a version that is just the whole thing put together, so I can just watch it all at once. Because I can't watch like a movie like that, any part movie like that, because I know how they work. Like with Warner Brothers and any of these multi-part movies, they will do a version that is just edited with more content. I'd rather see that version. I'll take a check out my day and just watch it. I'm good. Plus, I haven't heard too many good things about that adaptation. I think I've heard that they're stretching out stuff way too much. So it's very it's from what I'm hearing, like it's very really like it's longer than it needs to be. I think if they really want it to be 3 parts for some reason. I think you could have done Crisis on Infinite Earths in like 2 movies if you have to. You don't have to stretch it out to 3. I'll tell you what happened with the Hobbit trilogy. It wasn't supposed to be as long as they ended up making it. It was just like, hey, we're making another trilogy of Lord of the Rings movies based on the Hobbit, which is like a nice condensed, easy, short book compared to the others to kind of get you interested. And then like we had to make them 3 big movies, and you can tell by watching the behind the scenes stuff of just how they weren't really into it. You just see Peter Jackson in there. He was just supposed to be a producer, but then he had to become a director. Timer check in into stats. Ooh. Good old fire. Nice. I like that. New firearms expert reactors dropped.
This is Jonathan Ferguson, the keeper of firearms and artillery at the Royal Army's Museum
They gotta,
of the UK, which
they,
houses a collection of
with the new
thousands of
Black Ops guy,
weapons
go
throughout history.
back to the
And
old
on this
Cold
week's
War
episode,
one.
in anticipation for Black Ops 6, he's taking another look at the guns of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
A
Nice.
blazingly ordinary looking Papasha looks pretty good. You'd expect it to. In this time frame, this is still a very competitive weapon. And just as I'm getting all enthusiastic about it, Dave shows me this absolute abomination.
What the?
We've got plenty of other episodes looking at the weaponry of Call of Duty, so make sure to subscribe to check those out and let us know what other games you'd like to
Why
see
did
us
that
cover in the
drum
comment
mag
section
look like a
and
fucking
below.
bike chain?
Right,
What?
over to Jonathan.
We're out the gates with a weird one, and I will admit I had to remind myself of this one. Obviously, we have a 5.45mm AK magazine, so AK-74 magazine. There's a dimple in that lower receiver that reminds us of, well, the AK-74 or the AKM, but there's precious little else about this thing that looks Kalashnikov, and that's for a good reason. This is an obscure, super obscure, prototype only Armenian automatic rifle or assault rifle, whatever you want to call it. It's actually very. I'm smirking only because they've included this thing that almost doesn't exist, but it's actually really interesting. It's a lever delayed blowback system, so it has no gas system, which makes it lighter. It's shorter, as it were, in terms of height. It's quite a short, compact weapon as well. But as it is, it came in 1997, I think, in its finished form, well after pre-existing things had dominated the market. So
Interesting.
It wasn't going to go anywhere. I think that's too late for the. Well, in fact, I'm sure that's too late for the time frame of this game. So it shouldn't be in the game. A, because I've only seen one that definitely exists, and because it's too late. But it does look the part, and it gives you that kind of AK feel, but it's something very different. Is this modified?
This is modified, yeah.
Oh my
That
God.
includes some tape on a grip for you.
I was about to say, as we all know, wrapping some tape around a grip radically changes the
Oh
handling
my,
characteristics
what?
of any firearm. That looks to have the auto eject system. So going back, this would, well, I think in period, this would be an Armcell Striker. It's changed manufacturers, it's changed names multiple times. Maybe not the best design ever, but it's very 80s. Very 80s action movie specifically.
Oh yeah,
So I have no
definitely,
problem at all with
definitely.
being in the game. I'm not sure about the rail and the iron sights being on the rail. It looks like they've put a Picatinny on it, but just spaced out the grooves to make it look more like a Weaver type rail, but or the classical Weaver rail of the era, which
I do like using this in Resident Evil 4. I know they do the fudging of the reload because it's annoying. You have to wind it up every time you insert a shell, so it takes a long time to reload. But man, So
just had a couple
I'm
of
glad
slots in it
anything
because
like
it was
this
just
is now a
designed
lot easier
optic on,
to
optic
use.
off. It
Because
wasn't for
I just imagine myself in
positions.
that
Very good point, mate.
situation.
Not that it was
In
really
a,
necessary, but it is much faster to just die and respawn than it is to reload this thing from empty back to full.
Remember, dying and respawning is quicker than reloading. Life is cheap in the world of Call of Duty.
yeah, I know those I those things.
Another very interesting.
Sometimes you can't
topic
pull up
to
the
fire
secondary
up.
fast
So
enough.
this looks like some sort of unholy union twixt FAL.
Oh god, I'm reminded also there was a Battleship first-person shooter back on the PS3 and Xbox 360, developed by Double Helix Game. I remember it because each copy came with a free movie ticket to go see the movie, and they didn't put it as like an extra slip or something on the box. You had to actually like cut the cover art thing out. So I am interested if anyone ever tries to sell that game online, if that part of it is cut out for the free ticket offer, just to know like how many people actually bought this game to go see this movie instead of just seeing the movie by itself, because the game was terrible. But it had a alien machine gun, which was like a fucking minigun, and you would fire it, and the reticle would get smaller, so it got more accurate the more you get fired. And it was actually faster just to pick up another one than to just reload it. So we just run over to a dead body because the aliens only had two weapons. You just go over to one of them that had another one of those machine guns, just pick it up. Don't need to reload it. Just pick up another one, you'll be fine. Ah.
And well, I don't know. I guess it looks like an alternate universe FNC or maybe a CAL. A
It's got the
556
built-in butt pod in
FAL
there. Interesting.
lookalike is what I'm getting at. However, it's not an FAL or a CAL, and it isn't really an FNC either. It's its own thing. It's essentially a 556 FAL style AK. If you see
Okay.
this thing stripped, it has the classic long stroke piston, carrier, and rotating bolt of an AK. But the receiver design is completely different, of course. So this is Argentinian, sorry. Farah 83. That red dot sight's far too compact for this time period. The lines look quite nicely vintage, but it's very, very small. And we have Picatinny rail there as well on that rail adapter. Remind me of the year here, Dave.
Call of Duty Black.
So if I remember correctly, they gave this game away for free on one of the PlayStation Plus games of the month. I still have never played it. I go from Modern Warfare 1, like 2019, to 2. So I used to buy and play all the Call of Duty games, and then I stopped like back in 2014. I think with Advanced Warfare, like after that, I just kind of stopped playing them yearly because like I swapped from being mainly on playing them on Xbox to PlayStation because I went with the PS4 instead of the Xbox One because of all that bullshit. Which I actually found out was actually like a time. It was the big decider back then of like what console you would go for going forward, because of how we were more digital with like your game purchases. Because stuff would transfer over to the next console, you would obviously not want to buy a new console because then you have to buy all that stuff again. So you would rather stay where you already have everything. But it's kind of what the hell is going on with like Microsoft buying Activision. The new Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is now going to be on the Game Pass, so it's kind of like, well, what would you do? You want to pay $70 for the next Call of Duty on PlayStation, or do you want to buy an Xbox and get the Game Pass subscription and play it like that, but with a monthly fee? Yeah, so PlayStation, Sony being like, hey, all against that merger, I'm right there with you. Because I've seen what Microsoft's been doing with like any of the studios that they own, and like there's no real reason to buy the actual Xbox console. It may be in this room, and I play it quite a bit. But like if you literally ask me honestly, I'm like, I wouldn't go for buying the Xbox. Hey, Princess Rosa, how you doing? Welcome to my random Saturday rambling stream where it's taking me almost about two-ish hours to actually put something on the screen instead of just me rambling about nothing. I hope you're doing good. But yeah, I when I bought my Xbox Series consoles, I bought the Series S because that was the only thing they were putting out for some weird reason. You couldn't get the X, and then a few months later, they eventually came back, and I bought that baby right away. Because around that time, that's when they were figuring out how to put like RetroArch and stuff onto the console, and I was like, oh, I can play my emulated games and shit on there. I can play PS2 games on this Xbox. Why not? It ended up getting I could get a lot of use out of it. And then I kind of started cracking down a bit on that. So now you can put them on in developer mode and not in retail. I do have a dev thing with Microsoft because anyone can make one. I have one for Oculus. Now Meta. I have technically there is I do have a quote unquote development thing with them. That's just so I can use sideloader with it. Because it's like there's games you can get for your headset on the store officially, but then there's these other people who make other cool stuff there. A full VR version of Doom is on there, and it's so fun to play. Just 1993 sprites, and you're just in VR running around. It's so fun.
Black Ops Cold War is set in.
Plus, they were working on putting like emulators
Absolutely not.
on there too.
No, the site is completely off for that.
I've been part of the EMU VR Discord for a while. I love the idea of like you make your own room with that 90s aesthetic, and then putting in the consoles you have. You just play all these old games in there. Plus, being in VR, you can play Lycan games very easily.
So as much as I'm rolling my eyes when I see anything but a tube scope being put on one of these guns in a early 80s time frame, this thing here is very reminiscent of the Elbit Falcon series, which we haven't got unfortunately, but that big sight protector hoop lens holder thing on the front, fairly big and chunky form factor. It's not a precise match by any means, but
that looks very familiar to me.
Early 90s though, so we're at least 10 years out of date for that thing. I'm not aware of a reflex sight as anything like as compact as that in the early 80s.
I've actually played this game. Did this person literally just get an assassination streak for shooting someone straight on? What? Should that be from hitting them from the back? Because you're supposed to be sneaky? I didn't know standing in front of somebody in an open field could be a permanent assassination in a video game.
G11. I still don't know why they so radically changed it. It's a cool design. It clearly evokes the G11, but it's just so different. I mean, notably the magazine not being on the top but the front there. I mean, it must be nice for artists to be able to just go wild and come up with something completely original. Me being me,
That's pretty cool.
I always prefer the real thing. We're back to the old sight protector problem here. So that rear sight is sticking well up out of the carry handle, as is the front sight. So if you drop that on its top, you have at least lost zero and possibly even destroyed your ability to aim. Now, going back in time here to a proper G11, and it's a shameless opportunity to give you a sneak peek of this. Don't get too excited. This isn't ours. This is borrowed from a... Well, you know who you are. Thank you very much. It's great.
Oh, that's the proper one.
There is that crank cocking handle. Sadly, missing the flap that you actually get hold of, but that's the same feature there. We've got the magazine on the front here. And I think we have roughly the correct model of G11 because there are multiple. This is, as it says on it, this is the American Advanced Combat Rifle trial version, which is its ultimate kind of most refined form, really.
Interesting.
Now, this thing is tremendously complicated, and hopefully you'll all forget that we have it, and I can go into some detail somewhere else about it. As a soldier, as a user of this thing, if your gun stops working, you pretty much want to throw away this bit. and just shove on a new one because it's very very complicated, and it would be going back to the factory, I think, to be repaired, refurbished, or whatever. So it would have been a real shift in how they fit into the logistical chain, as it were. Really really cool to have this in hand. I hope you enjoy it as well.
To me, that is the sort of Call of Duty Black Ops weapon. So it's a sort of a shame that it's become the Carve 2. It's very cool to sort of see it in real life, but yeah, we had to go back to the original Black Ops to. I mean, we basically just did it as an excuse to show it off. Like, we can give that peek behind the curtain. It was a cool gun that you had, and we wanted to show it off, so we're going to show it off.
Yeah, and no disrespect to the designer of the Carve, but it's not a G11.
Because I remember they only had a wood sculpture replica of a G11 at their museum. So it's actually kind of cool that you could now borrow and just kind of do a deep dive video on it. They do very, very good deep dive videos on the Raw Armory's YouTube channel. A lot of historical weapons that I'm like very surprised of. I love, there's a duelist pistol with like 4 barrels. I love like learning about that type of stuff. Because you forget like how odd some weapons that have come out in the over history have been. Like the meme Don, the very tiny pistol. It's like that will not actually kill anybody. You know, just kind of like it feels like a flick if you get hit by it. It's too small, all to do anything. There's not enough power behind it, so it's. And then that being put into Battlefield 1 is just hilarious.
Right, bit of
How is that an assassination streak? The person was literally standing right in front of him.
M16.
He looked
looking pretty good to me. Here's one. This is the commercial M16A2, but this is looking pretty good. It even has the visibly long A2 pattern buttstock, the on the pistol grip there, round forward assist button. I won't bore you to death with all of those, and the proportions look correct. i.e. the barrel length. If I was going to get really, really nerdy, we actually have a slightly smaller diameter portion here of the barrel that is not. I don't think I've seen that represented on any
text message. I didn't actually mute my phone this time.
So I guess because this is a military firearm with a military designation, we're all good legally speaking, and
I feel bad. I'm just realizing this is actually the map from Black Ops 1. Just put into Cold War. I didn't actually notice it till now. It's like, wait a minute, I've been on here before. I played matches here.
Trigger could be some weird perspective thing. The only real anomaly for me, one is that it shouldn't exist yet. Just the design was basically there by 81, but it's not actually available yet. So, and it's not like it's some super duper prototype thing that's going to give you some great tactical advantage. It's a refinement.
This weapon's under the tactical rifle family, which means they're all sort of single or 3-round burst. This being 3-round burst, so could that be why they've gone A2?
I mean, yes. I don't know which way round it's been developed, but yes, absolutely. So the A2 has introduced one of the features, the least controversial feature in that everyone hates it. The 3-round burst was a feature of the A2 rifle as introduced into the US Marines originally, and then the US Army a couple of years later. I think 83 and 86. So this might just sneak in depending on which mission you're in or something. Oh, good lord. Okay. Yeah, that's actually pretty cursed. The quote flash gun 5.5 millimeter is enormous. Don't know why it's so huge. The laser sight is not a million miles away from kind of late 90s. Strap it to the barrel style laser sight, but it's far too small and compact for this era. The original Car-15 submachine gun, yes, it was a submachine gun, had little triangular handguns.
Okay, oh my goodness.
That's probably where they've got those from. They don't look good here, I'm afraid. The idea of a pistol grip screwed or bodged to the bottom of the handguard, that's very authentically 80s, 90s. I like that. The huge quad stack mag is way ahead of its time and is a weird capacity.
Just shrunk that front down, but not the barrel.
Telescoping buffer tube buttstocks of that sort of PDW nature as early
They
as
shrunk
that,
the hand thing is shrunken down by half, but the barrel's the same size.
Yeah, and weird. What's with 16.3 inch
Yeah,
barrel
I figured.
as well? And how is a barrel rapid fire or not? This whole thing is confusing. And I haven't even mentioned the giraffe pattern. I have a new emotional support weapon.
There we go. Thank you for letting me know.
Yet another weird gun, very reminiscent of the Soviet cosmonaut TP-82 survival gun pistol thing.
Oh,
Can't
I know what that
compare
is.
with a real one, but the design is actually quite different. As far as
It
I
looks
know,
like a
this thing's long
sawed-off
out of
shotgun, but a
production.
pistol.
Can't imagine time-traveling Soviet lawyers are going to come knocking on your door for replicating the real thing. So, as ever, not sure why it's so different. Essentially functions like the classic sawn-off double-barreled thing. Undeniably cool.
Without the 5.45 barrel of the TP-82 as well, it's just like Soviet double barrel shotguns. Because every Call of Duty needs a double barrel shotgun, really.
That's
Good
true.
point. The TP-82 is a sort of a Zwilling kind of concept of shotgun and survival rifle / self-defense weapon, or defense weapon against large bears, that kind of thing. So to only have the two, it may as well be Mad Max, really.
Target's down.
A pleasingly ordinary looking Papasha looks pretty good. You'd expect it to. There's plenty of available reference material and pre-existing versions in other COD games. They have all of the retro firearms to put it, retro by the early 1980s to put in a game of this nature. I think this is one of the more appropriate, because these things are still showing up in the Iraq War. They're still showing up in Ukraine. In this time frame, this is still a very competitive weapon. The round penetrates well, very high rate of fire, very controllable. And just as I'm getting all enthusiastic about it, Dave shows me this absolute abomination.
Okay, this is the T is in the opening. Okay, what the fuck is up with that drum mag? What the hell is this? Get the riveting pattern here on the fucking. Oh, on here my mouse here is very small, but get this riveting going on here. Here by your hand. Okay, this is like a digital site. I can already tell.
Absolute abomination.
It's got fucking energy lines coming off of it.
I feel bad when you're in the middle
With
of
fire vents.
enthusiastic chat about a gun and then something like this pops up.
Not bad enough to not do it again, though. You could barely detect the Papasha under all of this. That's clearly meant to be a polymer stock, so that's replaced. I guess the core action would still be the real thing, and then everything else is stuck on top. That drum mag makes me weep. I hate those legendary type weapons. Why is it green?
So the only way I could unlock this was by buying a blueprint and then taking all of the extra guff off. I couldn't get rid of the red pieces and I couldn't get rid of the green traces. So just ignore that.
Okay. Oh, and you've gone to the trouble of going underwater. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, this is loosely based on the Russian APS underwater assault rifle, although the magazine on it makes it look more like the Chinese equivalent of it. Now, I actually got my hands on one of these. Really interesting gun. It's essentially just sheet metal construction, big old spring. Can be shot out of water, just not massively effectively because the projectiles are great big needle-like darty things, but they're loaded into a conventional cartridge case, so they're kind of weird, and they're designed to travel through water without immediately tumbling or fragmenting. This is what you need to actually hit anyone beyond about 2 meters through water. And in a pinch, you could shoot it above water, but realistically, you're supposed to switch to a different weapon. Do you notice any different behavior between underwater and above water? It looks wild.
I think there was an episode of Mythbusters where they were testing that out with the water. Like, you need to fire a very high caliber round, like a 50 caliber, into water to actually have it go a decent amount of distance to actually hit anything. Because as soon as it hits the water, it just kind of stops. So wouldn't recommend it. But if any situation ever happens and you need to jump into the water, there to avoid getting shot, you know, depending on what weapons they have, diving into a pool is actually a good quick solution to that.
You can fire any weapon underwater in Cold War. So I think it was just the setting of the development of the weapon that made it a weapon for the game. And there's very little water on the maps of the game. Yeah, it's not really a gimmick it played into. But no, in Cold War it was just a pretty bad assault rifle.
Ah, the Stoner 63. Very time period appropriate. The Navy SEALs hung on to these things until I think the mid 80s at least. So it's a 5.56 lightweight, high rate of fire, light machine gun. So I have one here. This is the XM207 E1, which appears to be what we have here, I think. So this was actually, that XM designation is US Army. So this was US Army Special Forces troop trials. I don't know how much combat use they actually saw. The SEALs were the main actual users of them. However, I have seen photographic evidence of Navy SEAls with this.
I would say I didn't know there was a
Makes sense.
mode that
They
you
would
could
have
just
access to the
fight
various
against
Lego
CPUs
parts
apparently.
to convert this into whichever gun they wanted. That was the whole point of this modular system designed by Eugene Stoner of AR-15 fame. I mean, it stands to reason. They get them with the long barrel.
Oh,
A
no,
lot of them are going to swap them
nope.
for the shorter barrel to make it even more compact and lighter. No bipod, you'll notice on this one. And again, I don't think I've seen SEALs in Vietnam with a bipod. This is not intended for use as an LMG in the traditional sense. This is what we'd now call, or what the market would now call, an assault machine gun. So a light machine gun designed for firing offhand. So I think it's got a different manufacturer now, but I know it as the Denel NTW-20 South African 20mm bullpup bolt action anti-materiel rifle, pretty much as you see here. Firing it from the shoulder is a bit of a stretch. It's very stable on target there. If it is possible to fire this thing from the shoulder, you'd probably do it once. This thing isn't in existence till 1998, so it's way out.
Ooh,
really
okay.
quite odd left-hand bolt there. Don't think there's anything else in the game or any other recent COD game that has the bolt on the wrong side and the mag therefore on the wrong side. Don't know why that would be. Now I call this a bullpup. It's actually quasi bullpup. The magazine is full.
I'm feeling the reason why they did that is so you can see it. That's the only. Anytime you ever see a game where like they'll have like the pull handle or the ammo on the other side, I think it's mainly done for like a visual, because you can just see your left hand coming up and just pulling the bolt back to put the next round in. To put the next magazine in, the gun comes closer to your chest and then you pull it out. I think that's mostly for just to see everything.
Face of the bolt is behind,
because if the bolt was on the other side, you would
substantially
not see
behind
that
the
baby go
grip,
back as
so
much.
By my own definition, it's not actually a bullpup, but it's it's a good test case of what is and what isn't. It's certainly a more compact design. Kind of has to be when you're dealing with a 20mm cannon round.
Enemy destroyed. Enemy spy plane inbound.
RPD, period appropriate. Not, I don't think, for actual Soviet army use. They've binned it off in favor of the RPK by this point, and the PKM. I have one here. This is a first pattern Soviet RPD in really nice condition. Very nice.
I think I've
nice blue
used an
finish.
RPD,
Overall,
RPD in a video game or whatever. It's always
the
not.
disintegrating links.
It's had like a
sticking out the right-hand
drum
side
mag,
are wrong,
not
though.
or a
This is what they
clip. It's
should
never
look like.
been like the belt fed.
Standard Soviet style non-disintegrating links, which just come out the side of the gun and you collect them in a pile and reinsert rounds and use them again. You can see there that this is in fact the short 7.62 by 39 AK SKS round in a belt-fed machine gun, which was the sort of point really of the RPD. Lacks the long range punch, as it were, and precision of the PKM. It's reasonably light for a machine gun, but the PKM isn't much heavier and is much more capable. This thing is kind of obsolete by this point, but they were still around. They're still around today. You know, these things are very robust. You probably come across them still in use today. They use a very.
We're watching a video that the soldiers will want their weapons to be about under 6 pounds, I believe is the weight. They want all new weapons to be.
Those were guns of
Whenever they do trials, that's what they want the max to be.
complicated.
You gotta
site.
carry
I
it
will get around
with
to
you
playing
for
that
a
one
long
day.
time.
As ever, please do check out our Royal Armoury's YouTube channel. There's a lot more of guns and me, if you like that sort of thing, over there. And we have our website, social media, and our museums as well. Our Reloaded exhibition of decorated firearms is coming to an end at the end of this month, so it's getting towards your last chance to see that. But whatever you do, join us here again next week.
Nice. Yeah, it's they have to show off the new DBZ game. You know, it's just Dragon Ball. I don't remember when specifically that's all stops. Which I know Raging Blast 1 in 2009. That game released. That's when they stopped uh when they began like start just calling it Dragon Ball for like, it has everything in it instead of just calling it Dragon Ball Z. Obviously some games came out afterwards, but I'm trying to remember when is the full stop. Like it's never going to be this again. I think it was actually just that period really. Raging Blast 2. I think it was Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi that came out afterwards. I know it was Dragon Ball Z for Connect. I had the unfortunate I was unfortunate to be one of the few to play that game. That was something. I barely could get to connect to work at all in my freaking place. You need to be a good distance away, and I don't really have that space. I still have it. I had to buy like a magnifier. Anything else pop up while I was away? Oh, I see what's going on here. I'm looking at this photo. There's obviously a new Ninja Turtles cartoon coming out. It's this follow up for the movie because that's how when they did Mutant Mayhem, it was there's a new show and a sequel coming. Announced that I think it was in the opening weekend. I believe that was all announced. So we have because that's why they went with a young cast also. Not only do they actually sound like teenagers, but like as the as it goes on, they get older. So you can kind of work with the storyline that way. Yeah, we have a show coming out. It's like 12. I think it's 12 episodes, right? Let me check. They were thinking like it was a special event when on the trailer I watched. 'Cause it comes out in August. 12, yeah, 12 episodes. I remember that. It's like a 12 episode special event, coming out on Paramount Plus in August 9th. We're not at the point when I would see that channel get any updates yet for new episodes. That would be a little disingenuous if I were to quote unquote react to videos I've already seen. But no, probably possibly a lot of you haven't seen. I realize whenever I'm thinking when I type at the same time, I'll end up skipping words or I'll misspell another one. I'm like, oh wait a minute, I'm missing something here. It sounds really weird. Did a little bit to this. It doesn't sound quite right if I'm reading it back. The wrong, I put the wrong letter down there. That's why I thought didn't read it right. Oh, you bots. I got a reply on a tweet. I was reading that. It just threw me off a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I've had this happen. I don't know. I've been a little bit vocal about it on my Discord server and in some of my post replies, but I'm any like account that they try to get commissions out of you. I'm very like I know like a small thing in the screen there, but I'm very like giving the side eye. I see what how because I always have my DMs. I have to be following you, and you have to follow me in order to even do that. I think there's the best way to stop like random people from just DMing you out of the blue. Hey, would you like to commission me? To make you something? And I'm like, no, thank you. Because just from like experience and what I've seen, unless they're a super, yeah, exactly. Unless they're, because it happens also on Discord too. I have, you know, my DMs are technically always open. Anyone can come up and talk to me about anything. But I never get somebody who wants to just. It's never like someone I like, would know who want to like, move conversations over. It's always like a random account that just somehow joins my Discord server, which you would have to look either really far back, search specifically in my Twitter replies, or you have to go to my Twitch and find the link there to join it. I don't advertise my Discord as much, like on my actual social accounts. It's obviously a timer bot here on stream. Every like It's supposed to be every 45 minutes, by the way. That's how long the thing about the all my socials. That's supposed to be a 45-minute timer. So every 45 minutes, you're supposed to get replied. If I do a 2-hour stream, then technically twice you'll be notified about, oh, hey, I have a Discord server. I used to do a lot longer streams, and then, stuff happened, and they end up being shorter. I'm taking sentences. I'm just trying to think them out, thinking in my head. I don't. I don't. See picture. Go what? Me fucking go. Huh? It's just those thumbnails, but not so much a thumbnail someone makes. Like those ones, like obviously that you make some that are like, I gotta click on that. You gotta do the face with it. Oh god. I think it's the current creator class thing on YouTube where they show you how to make thumbnails. That's in there. Yeah, I do the Mr. B stuff. That's why usually, I do try to make thumbnails for like the VODs. Like obviously when I go live, I will reuse that thumbnail for the stream because it does kind of help a lot. So obviously, so like I like it better when I have ideas of what to do because like then I can make an actual like nice thumbnail to go with it. Yeah, it was like, oh hey, I'm playing this game for stream. Like all right, there's me. There's the game. I'll have the background. With the old VTuber model, obviously. See, now that we swapped over to here, which obviously I do hope a lot of people who may see me actually knows where this is from. Because it's very specific. Because you haven't actually seen this hallway this way before, unless you watched a certain thing. And you know what it is. A certain character is walking towards the camera with the background moving with this shot. It is Has Been Hotel related, yes. It is the background for when Angel is walking back to his room in the Addict music video at the end. This is actually the hallway shot from that, which does not, they don't have a full shot of it. So like I had to go like try to find art sources for it. Speaking of which, I don't know what day it will be, but we're coming close. We're June is has 2 full weeks left, and its last day is on a Sunday. And we have one episode. We have that new episode of Hello Boss at some point. The apology tour. We'll see when they drop it. Everyone obviously is going to be waiting for it because they got to see what happens next. Everyone was frothing on socials because of waiting for Full Moon. I don't know if we'll ever see anything like that where everyone is like waiting for this new episode, and it's just the days are going. Everyone is pissy about it. They're just like, oh, Viv, release the episode now, without knowing that they're actually still working on it. They literally finished the episode the day before releasing it. Like that's how far back what they were doing. Hell, scenes that appeared in the trailer back at Level Up Expo got touch ups. There's like stuff that we saw that was their scene duet. Those scenes all got touched up and looked and actually more finished. So like this, like that's the kind of the big difference between Hell of a Boss and Has Been. Oh yeah, is because so Has Been is like they have a deadline and they have a set budget for that show. For Helluva, it's it's Patreon, it's merchandise that you buy on Shark Robot. That's all funds the show. Oh, so they do kind of have they don't have like this set budget. It's stuff so they can kind of grow the team. It's a little bit more open, so they can do a lot more fun stuff plot wise. Sorry, plot wise and animation wise. I think I drink my water because I can hear it in my voice. It's starting to. I'm talking so much. I'm feeling it. It's like it's going. It's like you. Like hey, you're Ushan. You're using up your daily speaking. You don't have to. We're gonna start taking that away from you. But yeah, sometime. Oh, I think I might know when. No. So the funny part was the Valentine's Day merch for no, sorry, the springtime merch for Hell of a Boss and Has Been in there. They have some old designs that they'll do new color variants for. Now that's the Angel and Alistair shirt I bought from them for Valentine's Day. It's like a light pink version. It's an old design, but that's what they did for Valentine's Day. Okay, okay, it ended. Perfect. Give me the thumbs up. So the full moon merchandise. So what they do is when the episodes come out, they launch the merchandise. They go with it. So that just ended last night or early this morning. Okay, the 5-minute timer for when the next ad break is. So that's all. That merchandise is now gone. Is now off pre-order. I ordered a stand. I ordered that full moon standee, so that I have to wait for that to be manufactured, and then they'll ship that, and then because I pre-ordered an item, the other items I ordered with it was shipped with it too. Because they don't go, well, these are here, but this is a pre-order. We'll ship this other stuff first, and then your pre-order will ship separate. They're like, no, 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 you gotta wait. You should have done this as 2 separate orders if you wanted this other stuff to come first. So I got 5 standees in total coming whenever the full moon standee is ready to be shipped. And it says on Twitter, I was like, I had acquired some old pilot era has been merch. They're all standees because in one of the Discord servers I'm in, one of the members was like, "Oh, I'm just selling this stuff. I have some stuff I want to sell. Some is like unused. Some has been worn once if it's like a T-shirt." And these caught my eye immediately, and also the price was really good. Like a lot of people, you go on eBay, you go on Mercari, and any of those sites, they're selling these like any of the pilot era standees or shit, or pins, shirts and stuff, like really expensive. I saw someone was selling an Alistair standee, just the basic. It was what normal him standing there standee that was available for a while. Someone was selling that for $1,000. I was flabbergasted by it. It's a little acrylic stand that you put on your table. It, why is it $1,000? Yes, it's not May anymore. Or I understand. Obviously now the show is, everything's kind of moved over, right? Any new merch is now A24 with Amazon. I know we have new merch coming because they're making deals. I think at least I know Box Lunch and Hot Topic. Those they have talks with them. I know how long it takes for merchandise manufacturing to be made. So I definitely remember them saying that on Instagram, on their official Instagram. They're like, yeah, we're a little bit away from any like new merch from like some of our partners we've been now working with. That's gonna take a little bit, but there's new merch coming, as people were wondering. Because hell, the collectibles section on the Amazon Has Been Hotels whole page, where you would buy stuff just from Amazon, which is all merch on demand, the whole collectible section's gone. There's no more pins. You cannot buy a Has Been Hotel season 1 pin of any of the 4 characters on the Amazon anymore. I don't know about on the website. Yeah, I'll have to check that. I can do that right now, actually. I didn't buy them per se. They just my pre-order package came with all those pins. It was a set with like this has one exclusive pin, and all it is, it's just a pin that says official season 1 on it. That's all it is. It's a logo, says Has Been Hotel, official season 1. That is the bonus pin I got in this set when I bought my ultimate pre-order package, where I could mainly do it for watching the first 2 episodes a week early. So when I saw the ship series, it was 2 episodes a week, where everyone else was, they got 4 episodes 1 week, and then 2 the next, and then the last 2 after that. And still, I am still waiting for that damn playbill. It has been 4 months since the show ended, and around that time was when they're like, we have to delay this. We have to delay this. And I'm like, okay. Someone sent an email recently and it said they were putting the finishing touches on it. I'm like, it's been 4 months. Why is it taking so long? It's a playbill. They do these all the time for stage musicals. Apparently, it's supposed to be playable for each episode. I thought it was a playbill. Apparently, it's supposed to be multiple, so you get a playbill for each episode. It's supposed to be very have all the information about him, which I hope that baby is detailed as hell. Like it's got to be worth it for how long we've been waiting. It's a constant joke in this one server of my that I'm in, and the playbill was the people we met along the way. I love that stupid joke. It's that right amount of anger for a sentence, but just funny enough. It's like, yep. I haven't gotten up. I haven't gotten any updates about this. So I believe the grocery shopping is looking like it's gonna be today. In terms of it being picked up, by the way. Just in case you're new, I was talking about like how the groceries are because my brother is out. Oh, and the groceries are. It was. They're going to be picked. It's the my brother usually orders them and then picks them up and brings them home. That's kind of how that is. And I haven't heard anything yet about him just having them delivered. I know it's set up for around 5 o'clock. That's like his plan for like going to get them, which is a little strange. I personally would you know do him a little do that a little bit early, like get a lot of that work done. And I'm not sure why he does that. It just happens like a lot. Like my brother will just we know what time we should. It'd be someone should put it out. Go get it. I would make it early. For some reason, he wants to do it later. And it's not even like he's doing anything, to be honest. Like it's not anything like that has to be like immediately like done. It's like, hey, just grab it, come back, and do whatever afterwards. He's doesn't really do anything else. He he sleeps a lot. He goes on his computer and then it just repeats. There we go. Okay. I'm on the store right now, by the way. I was talking. So yes, you can buy the pins on their website. They took them off the Amazon site. I do know on Amazon it was they did it very strangely. You had to buy when you bought them. It wasn't like Amazon sold and shipped from Amazon. It still went to A24 to do it. So it was like a weird combination of like you were still ordering it through like the Hasbin Hotel's actual website, but through Amazon. Which it's I don't get it. Just like uh they should have gave them some stock and just have them ship because it would ship faster. They're not bad though. The website shipping stuff, at least like locally, it's not that bad. International, like I really hope they figure that out because some fans get fucked over real bad buying from the website, and that's why they've been releasing like newer merch stuff. I'm trying to remember which place it was. Someone had to pay $113 for shipping to get some. I think it was the mugs. I was like floored by that. I'm like, why? Why? Why is it $113 for internet for your shipping? And it's specifically for that website. Because normally, if it's domestic, you just gotta pay $6.66, and it's the hell of a post shipping, and that actually is pretty decent. You don't have to worry too much about that one. Nice flat rate. Keep it hell themed, right? The 666 on there, and a pretty decent shipping. You get all your tracking numbers and everything. Oh, interesting. It's like someone opened the door over there. Someone opened a cabinet door out there. I just drank my entire bottle of water, by the way. All right, we've been going for about 2 hours and 42 minutes. I technically reacted to one video. We only watched one thing, and I had to went early because I didn't want to impede on somebody else. I might join it in on their stream for just a tiny bit, so you might. We're doing a good thing right now. My friend Yo Bunny Hearted. Just check. I think they have the, yeah. Where is that button? There it is. I think I recognize where the raid button is on here. They are doing a charity stream to support Youth Pride. So definitely want to send you all over there. Really fun, very cozy streamer. Friend of mine for a good number, about 2-ish years, 3 years now. I met them in like late 2021, I think. Methinks. Very cozy. Obviously, I usually am always with them on a Saturday. So I'll probably be headed over there. There myself, joining it on desktop with my dying voice. Nice. Of course, thank you all so much for watching and being with me when I do all these ramblings. I have a very odd stream schedule, so keep up to date, where I'm always active a lot. Follow me definitely on my social platforms on Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky. I do now have an Instagram that is linked through the Threads thing, and that doesn't get posted too much. That's always artwork stuff. So if you want to see some easy way to see some of the pictures and stuff I post, it's there. Also, I have a YouTube with my past VOD for 3.5 years, obviously. TikTok with stream highlights, and if you don't want to do any of that individually, you want to keep it all nice and simple, I have a Discord server that you can join with roasts that you can react to, and then we have a nice little community that you all, everyone hang out together, and we have little community events. Okay, so whether it was morning, afternoon, evening, night, thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye.